Hi, Conor Donovan here from the Ruby Sessions. Okay, well, the Ruby Sessions has been running, as you say, over 9 years now, and it was started by myself and another guy called Mugison. And at the time in Dublin there was a lot of singer-songwriter nights, but most, if not all of them, were open mic nights. And we just felt that while you had the open mic nights, and then you had this big gap to doing your own gig in Whelan's or the Olympia or Vicar Street, and there was nothing really in between, standard-wise or available to artists who might not yet be up to the standard of headlining their own show in wherever, but they had done the circuit of the open mics. So we started up the Ruby Sessions, and I suppose the premise is still the same now as it was back then. We still run a show as a show. There's no headline act. It's what works best sonically for the audience, that the four acts play and they work well together, and the nights are booked about 3 months in advance, so we do know who's playing. And it does provide a stage that people can come in here where they're guaranteed a crowd. They're not playing to their own mates. They can sell a few CDs, and it's a learning curve for them, and then they eventually go on to headline their own shows, and hopefully when they become famous, come back and play with us. Well, I suppose over the last 9 years, the Dublin music scene has changed a lot. I think it's in a very healthy place at the moment. There's new venues opening up all the time. Back 9 years ago, there was very few places to play. I mean, you had the International, which a lot of people watching this interview will know and have heard of, but might not have been there, and that was an institution in itself, and hopefully the Ruby Sessions is now. But that was very, I don't want to say incestuous, but it was very a small knit group, and now a lot of people came out. The Mundies came out of that, Paddy Casey came out of that, Damien Dempsey came out of that, and it was perfect for its time. I don't know if it would work now, because there's so much going on in Dublin. I think a huge changing point in the Dublin music scene and Irish music scene was the release of Damien Rice's album O. I think that opened a lot of people's minds and perceptions, in that you can make it and become very successful with just a guitar. I mean, you have the likes of the Guggenheim Grotto who have graced the stage here and are now doing great stuff in America. Declan O'Rourke, now he would have been around the same time as Damien, but Declan O'Rourke, Duke Special, another singer-songwriter who now sees that, you know, you start off with a guitar and a vocal, or a piano and a vocal, and it just transpires into this huge big show now, and he has orchestras behind him. And I think the resources are there a lot more. The whole recording process changed, and people were able to, and this is another thing that Damien did with O, he recorded completely at home, and people realised that you didn't need a record company. The Ruby Sessions was never about making money, but going 9 years now, it's something, it's my baby, it's mine and Niall's baby. Not that we're a couple or anything, but we could be. But yeah, it's something I'm really proud of, and I suppose we've had some amazing nights here, and there's nights that I'm so proud that I'm involved in it at any level. But I suppose over the years there has been some great highlights. I mean, when you have someone like Glenn Hansard, who has won an Oscar, for God's sake, you know what I mean? Whatever you think about the Frames or Glenn Hansard, that's huge. And for someone like him to come back and play, as you say, while it's big, it's still very small and intimate. And we were very conscious of keeping it underground. In the early days, I mean, Damien Rice was playing here all the time. So was Mundy, Paddy Casey, Glenn, Paul Noonan from Bell X1, all them, Duke Special, Peter from Duke Special. Now obviously they've gone on, and I suppose the stamp of approval for me, especially, is that acts like that want to come back and play here, and that's always a treat for us and a treat for the people who come here week in and week out. But it's not about, I don't want to say name dropping, but I mean, we're really proud of anything we had to do with anyone's career, it might be that small. We're very proud that we're an establishment, and I'd like to think an institution in the Dublin, if not Irish, music scene. The Ruby session started off as a night that ran weekly, but over the years, I mean, we've done two nationwide tours where we brought the night around with Rodrigo and Gabriella. Who else played on it? Neo Super Vital. Who else was on it? So long ago. But we have done two nationwide tours. We've released an album. That album was released probably 6-7 years ago, and we picked 12 artists that we felt were a fair representation of what was happening at the Rubies every week. Declan O'Rourke was on that album, Duke Special was on that album, Susan Eenan was on that album, and they were just people that were coming in here playing all the time. Over the years, I mean, we have a record label now, Ruby Works, which is strongly tied to the night. I suppose Ruby Works is the umbrella company, but it all stemmed from Ruby Sessions. Sinead O'Connor is signed to the label we own. Rodrigo and Gabriella is managed and signed to our label. Fight Like Apes, a great young and up and coming Irish band, are signed there as well. So it's become more, I suppose myself and Niall, I mean, Niall is the business head of it, and I suppose I'm the music side of it. And while it's small, we like to think we're a lot bigger, if you know what I mean, if that makes any sense. So on the 26th of August 2008 it will be, or if you're watching this later, it has been, our 9th birthday, a milestone we're extremely proud of here at the Ruby. Possibly, if not definitely, our best 4 acts playing in one single night, and they are Cathy Davey, a beautifully talented Irish singer. Second on the bill is Miss Lisa Hannigan, the wonderfully talented ex-Damien Rice duetist, if that is a word. Is One Day International, fronted by Matt Lunson, an Australian singer-songwriter, but his band is all Irish. They recently supported Crowded House in the Olympia. And lastly is Gavin Glass and the Holy Shakers. What a voice, what a performer. I just feel it's going to be really, really special. If you're still watching, thanks for taking the 6 minutes to watch the little red thing go across the screen. It's been great talking to you, and